In February 2020, my husband and I were in Spain celebrating my birthday with family. We had a lovely meal. The waiter sang happy birthday to me in Spanish, wheeling out a lovely birthday cake with lit candles, and other diners applauded and cheered. It was a fantastic evening. Later that evening, back at the hotel, we stood on the balcony with glasses of fizz and stared out into the night sky and the huge crescent moon. We looked at the lights of the military hospital opposite and wondered. We'd been told that some people there were very ill with that strange new disease, COVID, the one that came from China. We'd only just heard of COVID and didn't realise that people outside of China were also ill with it. I found it disturbing that people just across the road from us had COVID. All was quiet on our return to Scotland, but people were worried. Many more were falling ill with COVID in all parts of the world. Then in March, a friend phoned and warned me that lockdown was about to happen. We were worried and didn't know what this would mean for us. But we rushed out and panic bought groceries, especially toilet paper. Life changed overnight. Soon there was rationing, mask wearing, personal protective equipment. Our social life stopped. No more meeting with friends and family. Culture stopped. Libraries, churches, cinemas, music, restaurants, nightclubs, all shut. Schools closed. Singing was banned. Project Fear had started. Daily public health and government messages became the norm. To me, it felt like the core message was COVID is the new plague. Stay away from everyone. They are a danger to life. Isolate. Wear a mask. Be afraid. Be very afraid. The news was full of death and dying. Very intrusive newsreels from hospitals of people gasping for breath and being turned over by 8 members of staff so that they could breathe. World shortage of oxygen canister. Little hope apart from the development of vaccines, which did come eventually and did make a difference. I found it all very difficult. Wearing masks was dehumanising. Not being able to see people's facial expressions. I really miss seeing my friends and family. All my normal daily routine had vanished in a puff of smoke. I managed to walk on the beach regularly with some friends, but we missed the tea and scone we would normally have had afterwards. I am in a band and play violin and sing regularly. This stopped. I miss church and the friends there. Zoom and FaceTime helped a bit, especially with family and close friends, but not so good for playing instruments or singing. I found Zoom very impersonal and I later came to hate it. I'm quite sociable with a supportive group of female friends, but I became quite anxious and worried in lockdown and I missed their support and hugs. We were all quite tactile and used to hug each other a lot. It's quite true. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. My sleep became disturbed with nightmares, and unusually for me, I felt a loss of confidence. Then came the news that my husband's aunt had died, and we were not allowed to travel to the funeral. We were very upset about this. It didn't seem right that we couldn't pay our respects in person. We had been close. I got quite weepy about it. In December 2020, our son was coming up from London for Christmas, staying for 3 nights. Then overnight stays were banned by the government and he was not able to come. We were so upset. We planned to have Christmas lunch with my sister and family 30 miles away, but I got cold feet in case we introduced infection. They had formed a bubble with their son, his partner and new baby grandson. I was glad we'd cancelled, as 2 days later my husband became ill with flu-like symptoms, then I became ill. I had lost my sense of taste and smell, and my husband could only smell burning rubber. I did the Zoe Health app and I realised that these were the symptoms of COVID. This was before home testing, but we were too ill to get to the test site. We were very unwell for another 2 weeks. Friends brought groceries and left them at the door for us. We weren't eating much, mostly soup and toast. My temperature was sky high for about a week and I had a sore throat and hacking cough. Also, I had patches of skin rash so painful I thought I had shingles. Headache, brain fog and muscle aches all added to the mix. It was horrible, but we didn't get taken to hospital and we survived. And this was before the vaccines. Given that my husband is 70 and I'm 5 years younger with asthma, we were very grateful to recover from COVID. Although we both had some symptoms, including brain fog and a loss of taste for another 6 months. We didn't tell our children until after we'd recovered. We just didn't want to worry them. They were very upset when we told them, especially as they couldn't come and see us themselves due to travel restraints. We met up a lot via Zoom to reassure them. In February, we were delighted to hear that my son's wife was pregnant. We were keen to go and visit them in Spain and wondered when we would be allowed. In August 2021, our grandson was born. The birth went well and he was a healthy baby. We managed to visit in September. It was so lovely to greet our baby grandson and family and to be in sunny Malaga. We stayed for 10 days. I could feel the stress and anxiety from COVID drop away from me, like dropping a weight off my shoulders. I began to feel better. We visited Spain 3 times in 2022, which involved a huge amount of paperwork and lots of testing, but it was so good to be in the sun with family. Things slowly improved in this country, and Christmas 2022 was lovely. All the Spanish family were over, our grandson now toddling and getting into as much mischief as possible. We had a great time with the extended family for Christmas lunch in Glasgow. My sister's grandson, who is a year older than mine, played together. It was very sweet, saying things like, "Come on, let's be cowboys now." The Spanish family left on the 28th of December for Malaga. Then we flew there on the 1st of January for 10 days to celebrate Epiphany on the 6th of January. Their big day, like our Christmas. You could almost touch the warmth and kindness at the Spanish celebrations, which were very noisy, with lots of singing and dancing. Huge processions where tons of boiled sweets were thrown for the young and not so young took place all over Spain. Giant figures of 3 kings or wise men led the procession. I felt very sad about the impact of COVID on so many people, dying of COVID, often alone. Loved ones lost to COVID, people dying of treatable illnesses, loneliness, mental health problems. The effect on new mums, new babies, young children, school children, older people. Especially the terrible death toll in nursing homes. I'm glad that social activities have returned, but things are not the same and they never will be. Pandora is out of the box. There is a new normal, one that we have to work out for ourselves, and COVID is here to stay. I value my friends and family much more now, especially since I have lost some along the way. I try to be guided by kindness, compassion and love. And I think that the little things matter enormously.